What's up everyone, this is Jim Davis. We're doing a video today. Going to be playing some Standard, preparing for the Invitational in Las Vegas in a few weeks. And we're looking at Blue-White Control. This is the same decks that me and Max Teets played at the Open Series in Providence. I wrote about it in my last article. We both agreed that we liked the deck a lot, but I don't know, we both, our records weren't great, but we felt like our matchups were good. And the deck felt good, and I'm going to be testing it more in the next week or so to discover if it's actually true or not. Now, one of the questions you might ask is why this deck over Esper Control, which is sort of like the standard Sphinx's Revelation control deck that was popular at the Pro Tour and so on and so forth. And there's definitely a few reasons for it. One is kind of just how clean the deck is. You see her playing all these basics. The mana base is very smooth. You don't have to deal with 8 comes into play tap lands, 12 dual lands, paying life, and because of that, we're also able to play a lot more counter spells as well, because you're not forced to like play a tap land or play a dual land untapped and reveal you have a counter spell, and so on and so forth. So the mana base is very smooth. Obviously, black gives you access to Thoughtseize, Hero's Downfall, and possibly Blood Baron, and other removal spells like Doomblade. But I also don't think that either one of those or any of those are as necessary as they would seem due to the options we have in blue-white. So, just looking at the deck, one of the biggest advantages I think is this right here, is our counterspell package, whereas the Esper control deck only plays about 2 Dissolve, maybe 3. In this deck list we get to play 7 main deck counterspells, which are very, very good in the format. I mean, there's a lot of decks playing kind of mid-rangey spells. The Devotion decks have a few key spells, and obviously they play very well with your Sphinx's Revelations and your high land count. So you have our counter spells, standard package of 4 Jace, 4 Revelations. We have 2 Divinations, kind of make some land drops. That's one of the cards in the deck that's a little bit iffy. That's not often featured in the Esper control deck. I recently cut one of the Divinations for a 27th land from my article list. I believe I mentioned that in the article as well. Because the Divinations are essentially there to make your land drops. So Divination is kind of a concession. It's not a great card to play, but it's doing what it's doing. We have our standard 4 Azorius Charms, 4 Supreme Verdicts, 4 Detention Spheres. And the spheres are very, very good because there are a wide variety of threats in the format. Planeswalkers, the god equipments, or not equipments, enchantments / artifacts, underworld connections. There's a lot of a variety of permanents you want to be dealing with, and Sphere does that very well. Oftentimes better than Hero's Downfall would, because Hero's Downfall can't hit a Whip of Erebos or a Hammer of Proofros or whatever it is. And so Sphere's doing that when Hero's Downfall is not, which is definitely an upgrade over Esper in that respect, even though Esper's playing both. But we have the 4 Spheres. One thing to realize that I've noticed is that there's a slight rise in the green-black decks, and they're playing a lot of Abrupt Decays, so it's good to be aware to board them out against them. We have 1 Celestial Flare, kind of like an extra removal spell. It's good against Stormbreath Dragon and other creatures that are hard to remove. And yeah, it's basically the main deck. The other last thing here is our win condition choices, and this is something I'm a little unsure about. When me and Max chose the 2 Aetherling, 1 Elspeth combination, it was when Mono Black was extremely popular, and Hero's Downfall was almost everywhere. So trying to rely on a 6-mana Planeswalker as your win condition was a little iffy. And also, there was also the threat of Thoughtseize, so having your 1 Aetherling kind of randomly Thoughtseize made it difficult to win in those matchups. So me and Max decided to play 2 with the 1 Elspeth main, and then I played the 1 Elspeth in the board. Going forward, I think it might be better to go back to 1 Aetherling, 2 Elspeth in the main deck, because Elspeth's probably a better card for the deck. It's better defensively. It can definitely get you out of situations that Aetherling cannot when you're on the defensive, and it also acts as a win condition, much like Aetherling does. It's not as efficient of a win condition, but it's more versatile. So that's a consideration going forward. Now in the sideboard we have extra removal spells. We had more Celestial Flares, which are very good at dealing with, as we said, Stormbreath Dragon, and then also Mistcutter Hydra is a big one too. That can be a card that's difficult to deal with, and if you have flares, it's not really a problem at all. That's a big one. Then we have Last Breath. This card has been very, very good. I was actually playing 2 of these in my Esper sideboard at the last Invitational, even though I had access to Doomblade and other options because it was so good. It deals with Nightveil Spectre. It deals with many of the early aggressive creatures. Voice Resurgence, even though it's not that popular at the moment, it's a nice hedge against that if someone's still playing that. And overall, it's just a very, very efficient removal spell. And like I said, I was playing it in Esper when I had access to black removal and decided to still play it Last Breath, which is a testament to how good it is. We have extra counter spells for the control matchups, negate, gainside. This spell is very good in the Sphinx's Revelation mirrors. 3 might be too many, might be 2, might be 3. We're still working out the numbers here, which is why we're testing. So we got that, and then we have Pithing Needle, which is a good answer to Planeswalkers, Domri, Xenagos, Big Garrick, and then out of the mono block deck, you can use it to answer Underworld Connections on a 1-to-1 basis, or if they put it on a Swamp, you can name Swamp. It sort of acts like the 5th and 6th Attention Sphere, which is very useful as well. So, I want to take a quick look at the deck lists from last weekend's Grand Prix, because there was a blue-white deck that top-aided that was a little different than what the me and Max have been running. We got that right here. So now, this is Stanislav Sifka's deck list. Might be pronouncing that wrong. Sorry, Stanislav, if I am. But, so now, there are definitely a lot of similarities, but also some differences as well. He chose to run the 4 off-color temples, which me and Max considered, but we were considering playing this many, so this is definitely interesting. So he has the 4 Skylands, and then he completely threw Aetherling out the window and went to 3 Elspeth, and he's playing all of his Last Breaths in main, which is pretty aggressive. No Syncopates, he's playing 4 Dissolves, so he's not playing any sort of Celestial Flares or Divinations. Maxed out on Jace's, 3 Elspeth is a lot. And then, while I'm a little questionable, while I have a little bit of question, I should say, with the main deck, the sideboard I like a lot. He has this Archangel of Thrune, Fiendslayer Paladin, Soldier of the Pantheon sideboard. And I played Blue Light Control before the format rotated with a Archangel of Thrune sideboard package at the SCG Open in Philadelphia. And the Archangel won me countless games over the day. In that deck, it was paired with the 1/5 that gains life. It's lifelink and it doubles the life gain. I can't recall the name of it right now, but it was paired with that, and it was absolutely fantastic. So this sideboard plan is very very similar to that, and definitely it was effective in the past. I would look forward to possibly doing this in the future as well. It shores up your aggro matchups and can give you an interesting angle of attack against other control decks when they have boarded out all their Supreme Verdicts. So this is the deck, and then we're going to be jumping into a 2-man, and we'll see you in a bit.